This is a podcast that seeks justice. Justice for the lives stolen by those in society that hide amongst us every day. Hidden in our towns, cities, and countrysides, the places that we work, and sometimes in our very own homes. This is Hidden Killers.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm Tony Bruschi. As we talk about these cases on the show, we get very focused on the perpetrators of the crime. We almost put blinders on at some point. And sometimes we forget the humanity and the people that lost their lives in the wake of the horrible decisions that these perpetrators have made. I want to focus right now on a relationship of one of the cases that we've been following here for you from the very beginning. We're talking about the 4 Idaho students who were brutally murdered last November at their King Road residence. A relationship between 2 of the girls, Kaylee Goncalves and Maddie Mogen. You grow up together. You're essentially siblings. Her parents are considered your parents. Your parents may as well be her parents. Your best friends from grade school to high school. Then you begin your college journey together. Memories created, celebrated all throughout life. Many of those memories take place at one specific address, the address you moved from to prepare for your next journey. The first part of your journey that doesn't include your best friend. So one weekend, you choose to head back for a visit to that college address that you spent that last stretch of the journey on with your best friend to celebrate what's to come. The very best friend who, like you, would be part of yet another memory. Only this time, this memory is not one that is ever going to be celebrated. See, Kaylee Goncalves had already moved out of the King Road residence where she and 3 other students were living, but headed back to Moscow to visit her best friend, Madison, that weekend. She was no longer a resident there. She was for quite some time, but this was kind of her last hurrah as she was getting excited, wanted to show off her vehicle and have some fun with her friends and kind of live that experience one more time. Goncalves' parents had said that the 21-year-old had recently left the student rental property ahead of her upcoming graduation that December with a move to Austin, Texas that was on the horizon and a brand new full-time job. Her and her best friend had been inseparable since meeting in 6th grade. And Goncalves wanted to show Mogen her new vehicle that she had saved up for and bought, a Range Rover. The pair also planned to go to a party that Saturday night, the night of November 12th of 2022. These girls were best friends since 6th grade, like inseparable, said Goncalves' mother, Christy Goncalves. That was the last time that I saw Kaylee. Of course, as we now know, in the early hours of November 13th, Goncalves, Mogen, Zaina Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were all stabbed to death inside that very same home that Kaylee once lived. The best friends since 6th grade were found in the same bed together in Mogen's room, stabbed to death. Even Mr. Goncalves, her father, had made a point of saying something to the effect of they've done everything together in life, and I guess, and as horrible as it is, it was fitting that they had each other as they went through those final moments of their lives. DNA found at the scene, of course, was matched to Brian Kohberger. Ms. Goncalves said that she first learned about her daughter's murder from a family member with connections in Moscow. She said her friend told her something bad happened to Kaylee. She tried to get in touch with Kaylee, but didn't have any luck. She said she urged people to relax, as she was convinced that if anything had happened to her daughter, then Mogen, who was also like part of the family, would have gotten in touch. It would be logical. If something happened to one, you'd be calling the other's friends and parents and whatnot to let them know. Of course, you're assuming at that moment in time that something bad did not happen to both of them. So it was logical at that moment. I said, everyone needs to relax because if something happened to Kaylee last night, Maddie would have called me. That's what the grieving mother said. A few hours later, the news came with a knock on the family's door. Officers arrived to break the news that both Goncalves and Mogen were among the 4 victims. It's a tragic memory. It's a horrible, horrible story if you've been following it. Filled with such senselessness as we try to evaluate how did this happen. And there's plenty of time for us to do that, but there's also time to remember who these people were. They weren't just some numbers of college students that were murdered. They weren't just these pretty faces on a screen. They were lives. They were lives that were stolen. The next chapter in the story, as of right now, looks like it'll be June 26th, when the suspect that allegedly took their lives will return to court. And of course, we'll have that coverage for you right here. Just don't forget who these people are that we talk about on these shows. It's not just about the horrific things that some people in society do to others. It's protecting the lives and bringing awareness to the horrors that are out there and trying to stop them before they occur, and then seeking justice for those that disregard human life. I'm Tony Bruschi. Thanks for joining us.